Out with the old and in with the new. It's time to save big at Room to Room's New Year's sale. Store-wide markdowns 50 to 70% off. No tax. 48-month special financing. It's a new year at Room to Room Furniture in Tupelo. There's no place like home.
At First Choice Bank, we know you can't always make it before the bank closes. With our integrated teller, you can talk to a live person as late as 7 p.m. on weekdays and noon on Saturdays. It's not just an ATM, it's an ITM. First Choice Bank, your choice for banking.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather This Morning.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Welcome into Mississippi Live Weather This Morning. As always, thank you so much for joining us here on Mississippi Live Weather, joining us out here for your Friday morning as well. We've had a lot go on this past week, haven't we? And now we're here back at Friday. So here's a few things you need to know as you're trying to get out the door on your Friday morning. I'm going to set my coffee down. I hope you have your cup of coffee and you're ready to go. Here's a few things you need to know. A few flakes could be flying out there this morning. We'll talk about who's already seen a few, probably while you were asleep this morning. So yeah, a few flakes possible out there. Nothing too impactful, but still could be a likelihood over the next hour or so. Cold air returns this weekend. This weekend is going to be very chilly out there. So we'll talk just how chilly, but folks that do not have any power going into the weekend, it's going to be very, very cold, something you're going to want to prepare for. Also, the other thing is it is going to be dry through the weekend. So that's some good news. Even with the cold conditions that come back, we don't see any precipitation or moisture with that as well. Here's a look, though, of where we could see a few flakes flying. You can see there in Tate, Panola, Lafayette County, seeing a few flakes out there this morning on our Mama Justice Doppler radar. Again, that was about an hour or two ago, 5:30, where we kind of saw that shift through northwest Mississippi, kind of dissipating as it does. Again, not adding to our accumulations, but if you were up and about that early, yeah, you might have seen a few flakes flying or two. Now taking a look at this at 6:30. Not much out there, right? Really seeing overall pretty dry conditions across the board. Yeah, maybe a few flakes further off into maybe central Tennessee, and then kind of stretching right here into northern Alabama. But overall here northeast Mississippi, northwest Mississippi, kind of seeing those drier conditions shaping our forecast. What is causing those few flakes to fly? Let me show you here. We're watching a low pressure system continuing to shift in our area as it does along its warm fronts, causing a little bit of moisture to come up in the area, causing again a few flakes, some wintry precip early this morning in places like central Arkansas last night, and then here in north Mississippi as we head over the next hour or so. But again, very light in nature, kind of on and off, just like you saw there on that Mama Justice Doppler radar. Let's talk about what's going on outside for a few of us. This is over in Crenshaw. I think this camera might be frozen, but it has been good over the past few days. Still seeing, though, very slushy roadways. Not the same story if we head over into Amory. So still that difference in roadways, depending on where you are in the state, but especially even in North Mississippi, Northwest Mississippi, up into the northern half of our area, seeing still very slushy roadways, ice that is having a very hard time melting. Those who didn't get as much of that, seeing good roadways and able to kind of return to normal. So very different depending on where you're waking up with us. And that's going to be the story into the weekend as well. Here's the thing. We got a lot of melting to take place yesterday, and that's some good news with sunshine and warmer temperatures. However, the bad news is as we head to the overnight hours and then into this morning with conditions below freezing, it yet again turns to ice on the roadways, also turns to the likelihood of black ice as well. So if you have to get out and about and you're within those areas that still have those slush on the roadways, I want you to make sure you're being extra cautious out there, especially in the morning hours with temperatures like this, below freezing again for the majority of us. 30 in Water Valley, 30 Oxford, 30 Senatobia, 25 up in Marshall County, 31 in Prentiss County, further off to the south, 34 in Eupora. So some of us, a few of us above freezing this morning, 35 in Kosciuszko, 36 in Greenwood, 33 saw the update over in Belzona, 34 in Macon. So most of us near 30 degrees out there this morning. Power outages, we are seeing a little bit of some progress taking place, or I should say a lot of bit of progress taking place, but overall with our power outage numbers, we're seeing that continual to decrease. Look at that, Corinth and up in Tishomingo County are the two that I noticed the most this morning. These were around 8,000 yesterday, now 6,500 and 7,500 over in Alcorn and Tishomingo County. So we are seeing progress being made. Same story in Lafayette County. This was 14,000 yesterday, now 12,000 over in Lafayette County. So progress is being made. We're seeing a lot of extensive work by crews out there, additional crews being brought in. But we know that there's a lot of work to do, right? So progress can seem a little bit slower than normal with still a lot of slush and ice around. And again, a lot to repair, but we're thankful for those numbers continuing to go down, but overall still a lot of us without power. 4,000 in Grenada County, 1,500 down closer to Belzona, 400 in Atala County. Really paying attention to these numbers because as we head into the weekend, that cold air comes back and people without power need to be prepared for that. Let's talk about your first 12 hours ahead. First off today, keeping about a 10 to 20% chance of, yes, a flurry or two this morning, not impactful. And then we turn above freezing yet again this afternoon. Temperatures in the middle 30s by 10, 40s into your afternoon. Most of us near 40 out there into your afternoon hours. That's some good news. Yet again, above freezing. We just won't see as much sunshine as we have the previous few days. So continuing to see some cloud cover kind of on and off throughout your day. 30s return by your 4 o'clock hour, near 30 by 7. Here's an overall look of that system, where it is right now on our current satellite and radar. Again, that system sitting just off to our south, more in central Mississippi. As it continues to shift in, though, yeah, we could see a few flakes flying, but nothing impactful, nothing to add to your accumulation. This is the main thing that I'm watching this weekend. Very cold Arctic air diving back south. We're talking about very cold conditions setting back up for the weekend, a lot like last weekend, but feels like temperatures going to be even below that. So very cold air back in the forecast. Coming up next, we'll talk about just how cold things are going to be getting. We'll talk about how cold your feels like temperatures are going to be getting into your weekend as well. So make sure to stick around. Your full weekend forecast and, of course, a full look at your 7-day forecast, all coming up right after this.
Look at Wanda, ready to rock her big presentation. But first, lunch. Sweet Pepper's Deli. Delicious, celebratory, but is it quick? The Cobb salad. Tender oven roasted chicken, topped with cheese. Prepared, plated, and served in 6 minutes? Is this for real? Well, of course. Well done, Wanda. Sweet Pepper's Deli. Yes, ma'am. Life is sweet.
As a bankruptcy firm, Mitchell, Cunningham, and Bowling realizes many people are worried about their finances. We're here to guide you through the next steps to restart your life with easy video appointments. New clients don't have to leave home to get information about becoming debt-free. Also, convenient in-office appointments are available at the low cost of $340 upfront for a Chapter 13. You can be on your way to being debt-free. Contact Mitchell, Cunningham, and Bowling today or visit our website at mcdebtfree.com. We are here to help you.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's meteorologist Maggie McAuley.
Hey, welcome back into Mississippi Live Weather. I'm meteorologist Maggie McAuley. Thanks as always for tuning in with us here on your Friday morning. Want to show you a live look outside first, or ongoing current conditions at least. This is our Mama Justice Doppler radar. Not tracking anything at the moment. We did see a few flurries out there over the past hour in northwest Mississippi. Now seeing, a little bit of some light snowfall happening mainly in northern Alabama, and we're looking dry out there. But over the next hour or two, yes, you could pick up a few flurries out there at most. Shouldn't be anything too impactful out there. Here's a look outside at a few places we're watching this morning. This is over in Cleveland, and I show you this because a lot of roadways do not look like this, and towns do not look like this. So there's a very big difference between northwest Mississippi to more of the Golden Triangle region, right? Some of us still look like this morning. Here in Tate County, where I am in Senatobia, we still look like this, if not worse, this morning. Those roadways really look to have cleared off a lot yesterday with a good amount of melting to take place, but still you can see some slush on roadways. So right here are the roadways that we're concerned about, right? With that slush still ongoing and things able to melt off at least ever so slightly yesterday, but then able to kind of refreeze overnight. So definitely want to be careful out there on the roadways. This is a live look in Cleveland. Temperatures near 30 over in Cleveland this morning. Here's another live look. Again, very different depending on where you are, right? This is over in West Point. Overall, Don't see any white on the screen. Not seeing any ongoing snow on the ground, ice on the ground either. So that is some good news over in West Point. Again, they weren't as impacted, but that just goes to show you across the board here in North Mississippi, some of us waking up very differently than others. Temperatures near 30 over in West Point as well. And again, folks able to get out and back on the roadways this morning over in West Point. As for airport delays this morning, know anybody hitting the skies out there? I am not tracking any delays out there in all of our region-wide airports from Oklahoma, Dallas, Fort Worth, Little Rock, Memphis, Birmingham, back into Atlanta. So that's some good news if you know anybody hitting the skies this morning. As for your school bus forecast, kiddos still need the coat today. Temperatures as you're dropping them off still in the 20s, near 30 degrees across the board. Yeah, about a 20% chance of a flurry or two. Shouldn't be too impactful, and that is gone, that chance, by the time you're picking them up. Temperatures near 40 degrees. So another afternoon where we're above freezing, at least a majority of us. Now, if you're in further northwest Mississippi, yeah, looking near freezing. 30s out there, 34 in Holly Springs, 36 over in Oxford, 33 Senatobia, 35 Alcorn County. It's that cold air continuing to dive further and further in. 40s though for a majority of us, 40 in Lee County, 42 Houston, 41 Eupora, 43 Starkville. But here's the thing, these areas that are staying mainly in the 30s today are the areas that we need that melting to take place. But a lot of them, though, above freezing out here. So we should still see some melting take place today, just not as much as yesterday. Let me take you hour by hour. Let's track out these flurries, shall we? As we head on through noon, we could still see a few flurries out there, mainly in northern Alabama, but could stretch into some of our Alabama counties as well. Going into the afternoon, though, that's really out of here, and we're looking at some sunshine, some peaks of sunshine to take place as we head before sunset. So still could see some good melting efforts take place across the area today, even with it not being as warm as it was yesterday. Going into the overnight hours and then into your Saturday, a lot of people have been asking me about the weekend. What's going on with the weekend? Are we seeing snow, more of this or that this weekend? No, we have not posted that. I know there's been a lot of chatter on social media, but that is not true. There is a winter system well off to our east that's going to be impacting the Carolinas and Atlanta, but it's not going to be impacting us, and that's some good news out there. So yeah, still maybe a few flakes if you're closer to the Mississippi and Alabama state line out there on your Saturday morning, but overall, again, nothing to add to your accumulation, nothing too impactful. As we head throughout your Saturday, it's going to be very cold out there. That's going to be the impact. And we'll talk about just how cold. Going into your afternoon, we will see some more sunshine come into play for Saturday. But take a look at this. Let's talk about Saturday morning. We're talking about wind chills on your Saturday morning in the negatives for some. -1 potential over there in Holly Springs. Same story for Louisville. All of us in the single digits for wind chills out there on your early Saturday morning. And yes, a few of us could dip into the negatives for those wind chills as well. So if you got to be out and about on Saturday morning, I just encourage you to be careful out there and make sure that you are bundled up. Also, keep an eye on this because some of us are not, just the reality, some of us are not going to have power going into the weekend, right? There's still a lot of work in progress to be done, and we're seeing a lot of efforts taking place, and we're thankful for the people that are out there. But the numbers and the things that need to be done, just the reality is some people will not be waking up with power out there on your Saturday morning, and it is going to be very cold, feeling even colder out there. So I encourage you, for the people you know that still don't have power, check on them, make sure they have what they need out there. If you have power, maybe I encourage you to take some people in, especially into your Saturday morning when conditions are going to be this cold out there for your Saturday. I know someone asked about, could power go back out if you have power? No, I'm not looking at power going out from this. It is going to be windy out there. So I do encourage you, if you have any limbs or anything that's hanging on trees or in your yard, make sure you're picking those up because it's going to be breezy out there on Saturday. And that's what's causing this wind chill factor to be in the negatives for some. Also, an extreme cold warning in place due to this. This goes into effect this evening. It lasts until Saturday morning for a good portion of our counties, from Itawamba over into Panola, Quitman, Coahoma, and those sitting south of that. But we're all going to be cold. That's why the extreme cold warning is prompted, at least for a portion of our counties out there. Tomorrow, high temperatures not getting much better. We're talking about feels like temperatures for your Saturday, staying through the teens through the afternoon. actual high temperature is going to be in the 20s. Just overall a very, very cold day out there. 28 in Houston, 27 Water Valley, 28 Grenada, 27 Eupora, 28 Starkville, 24 up in Boonville. I encourage you, if you don't have power going into your Saturday, to go to a warming center around your area if you can. Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon. That's how cold it's going to be. It's going to be very uncomfortable to be in your house without an adequate way to heat your house. So cold air does return south. It's not just for us, it's for a good portion of the central and southern United States. We're talking about an exceptional departure from your normal temperatures, anywhere between 35 to 40 degrees below where we should be for this time of year for us, and for, again, the Carolinas, the Northeast, all the way over into Texas. So very cold air is filtering south for a good portion of the United States out there on your Saturday. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. 40s today. Enjoy it because 20s come back tomorrow. Again, feels like temperatures on your Saturday morning in the negatives for some, still in the teens out there for Sunday. Temperatures on Sunday do get better in the 30s out there for your Sunday afternoon. And then it's really the weekend that we're worried about, because Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we go back into the 40s and 50s. Rain chances increasing as we head into the middle portion of our upcoming work week. So that's a full look at your 7-day forecast. Again, the main thing that we're concerned about as of now is just how cold it's going to be getting into your weekend. Make sure to continue to tune in with us, though. We'll be live 2 more times this morning. We're going to be talking about our game of the week coming up at 7.
Growing up, Gabe was naturally curious when he began to discover weather. Gabe just didn't want to know what was happening, but he wanted to know why it was happening. Gabe became fascinated with tornadoes and it impacted his life. He wanted to pursue a career in meteorology. Even though Gabe grew up in Alabama, Mississippi has now become his home and his family. And one thing about Gabe is he keeps his family safe.